Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. When you're someone like me who loves music, but you don't really sing that well, then you turn your thoughts to writing a hit song. And today we got an article about 20 massive hits sung by legendary artists, but written by other music icons. When we listen to a song on the radio or in a soundtrack, we tend to assume the voice we're hearing is the same person who brought the song into existence. In reality, many steps need to happen before the artist even makes it into the studio, from writing the lyrics to recording the instruments to fine-tuning the mix in post-production. More often than we realize, the singers we hear have nothing to do with the song's original creation. In today's video, we're going to read about 20 hit songs released between 1960 and today that were written by a famous artist other than the singer. First up is Pretty Hurts by Beyoncé, written by Sia. Beyoncé's 2013 song Pretty Hurts resonated with fans for its hard-hitting themes of eating disorders and feminism. But not everyone knows the song was not only written by another artist, but was also originally intended for someone else. Australian singer-songwriter Sia wrote the ballad and shared that she originally had California Girls singer Katy Perry in mind during the writing process. Sia sent an email offering Perry first dibs on the song, but when the singer missed the email, Pretty Hurts found itself in a custody battle between Rihanna and Beyoncé. When Rihanna's team dragged their feet for 8 months without paying to secure the track, Bey's team swept in. The next song is We Found Love by Rihanna, written by Calvin Harris. Scottish songwriter, DJ, and producer Calvin Harris is known for cranking out popular pop and dance hits, especially in the 2000s and 10s. We Found Love sung by Rihanna was one such banger which took over the playlists of radio stations, department stores, and dance clubs alike. While it's common knowledge the recording artist produced We Found Love, it's worth noting that Harris also penned the song. In a 2013 interview with Fuse, Harris explained that Rihanna first heard the tune while they were on tour together. The song was also offered to Leona Lewis and Nicole Scherzinger. The next song is Irreplaceable by Beyoncé, was written by Ne-Yo. Beyoncé's fierce persona perfectly matches the mood for her 2006 hit Irreplaceable, but it was singer-songwriter Ne-Yo who was the lyrical talent behind this catchy, confident track. Ne-Yo initially planned to sing the song himself, but was worried, stating that a man singing it comes across a little bit misogynistic, a little bit mean. Furthermore, he figured listeners would find it empowering coming more from a woman. The next song on the list is I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, which was written by Dolly Parton. Before Whitney Houston recorded the now universally recognizable ballad I Will Always Love You, was written and performed by country icon Dolly Parton, who wrote the song about her previous partner, Porter Wagoner. Though excited about the possibility of Elvis Presley recording her song, Dolly Parton blocked the king from covering it because it would have meant sharing the publishing revenue. Ultimately, it was Houston's The Bodyguard co-star Kevin Costner who was responsible for having Parton's hit song in the movie, and the rest was box office and music history. The next song on the list was Little Things by One Direction, which was written by Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran has undoubtedly caught the attention of many a swooning fan with hits like Shape of You and Thinking Out Loud, but he's also penned multiple memorable tunes for other performers, including the boy band One Direction. Little Things was originally written about a woman named Fiona Bevan when Sheeran was 17. As they grew up, Bevan and Sheeran remained in touch, although the song Sheeran had written for her was temporarily misplaced. Fortunately, Bevan found the song and reminded the songwriter of it, just in time to shop it to the boys of One Direction. The next song is My Way by Frank Sinatra, which was written by Paul Anka. One of crooner Frank Sinatra's biggest hits, My Way, was written by Paul Anka. But while Blue Eyes didn't write the classic tune, he inspired it. After Sinatra told Anka he wanted to retire during a dinner together in Vegas, Anka channeled what he felt into his typewriter that night, churning out the hit in just a few hours. The Rat Pack was over, he was tired, he was being hassled by the FBI, and all that kind of stuff. And I was motivated at that moment to write a song for him, Anka told AZ Central. The next song was Get the Party Started by Pink, which was written by Linda Perry of Four Non Blondes. Pink's blend of edgy and poppy music is well characterized by one of her early hits, Get the Party Started. But the spiky-haired singer didn't write this early 2000s song, nor was it originally meant for her. Linda Perry of Four Non Blondes penned the song with Madonna in mind, but Madge ultimately declined. Shortly after, Perry received a call from Pink, who idolized the former rock band leader. Quote, "She left me this really crazy message how she would come find me if I didn't call her back," Perry told Rolling Stone. Because Perry had Get the Party Started on hand, she sent the tune over. The upbeat song helped push Pink up into the charts and onto everyone's radar. The next song on the list is Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson, written by Avril Lavigne. Breakaway is one of the best known songs from American Idol darling Kelly Clarkson, but it turns out rock singer-songwriter Avril Lavigne is the talent behind the words of Clarkson's hit single. According to Lavigne, she'd written the song for her first album when she was young. "I was leaving my small town, went to the city, I took a chance, I took a leap of faith on my career," Lavigne told the Kelly Clarkson Show. "It was like a very scary thing. Leaving my world behind and taking a chance is what the song was about." When Breakaway didn't make it into Lavigne's album, the Canadian artist gave it to Clarkson to use on her second album of the same name, released in 2004. The next song on the list is Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell, was written by Babyface. Anyone who is a fan of 90s R&B is familiar with Tevin Campbell's Can We Talk. The young performer's distinctive voice made a perfect companion to singer-songwriter Babyface's sympathetic lyrics about a shy guy looking to approach someone special. Already at the height of his prowess with hits for Boyz II Men under his belt, Babyface provided Campbell with his signature song that still hits hard today. There were rumors that Can We Talk was almost given to singer Usher, but the legendary producer confirmed that the song was written specifically with the then 17-year-old Campbell in mind. Quote, "It all depends on the voice," Babyface said in The Breakfast Club when asked if he had reservations about giving the song to young Campbell. "And if someone has that voice and gives it a good feeling, that's ultimately what you want. You can give it to someone that's seasoned, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll pull it off the same way." The next song on today's list is My Girl by The Temptations, was written by Smokey Robinson. An iconic Motown band, The Temptations are responsible for such memorable tunes as Just My Imagination, Running Away With Me, and Ain't Too Proud to Beg. But one of their best hits is probably My Girl. The song, still played in many weddings today, was the band's first #1 Billboard Hot 100 hit, and it's all thanks to songwriter and former member of The Miracles, Smokey Robinson, with the help of fellow group member Ronald White. Robinson originally wrote the the song about his wife, Claudette Rogers Robinson, and made some adjustments to fit the voices and personalities of the Temptations. Since the song's release in 1964, My Girl has been played worldwide and was introduced to the National Recording Registry in 2017. The next song on today's list is You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin, was written by Carole King. American history wells up when Aretha sings, former President Barack Obama told New Yorker, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman is a song inextricably linked to the iconic artist. Yet this top 110 hit was written by then-songwriting couple Carole King and Gerry Goffin. According to King, she and her husband were walking down a New York street one day when a top music exec came up in a limo and asked them to write a hit for the R&B legend. That night, the couple got to work with music and lyrics. The next song on today's list is Islands in the Stream by Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. It was written by the Bee Gees. There are conflicting stories about who the Bee Gees originally wrote Islands in the Stream for. Some reports say Marvin Gaye was front of mind, though Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees told Billboard he wanted Diana Ross. At any rate, the track, named after an Ernest Hemingway novel, went from an R&B track to a country song when Kenny Rogers caught wind of it. Rogers looped in Dolly Parton and the track was reworked to fit the duo. Despite the genre switch, the song did reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The next song on today's list is Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, was written by Prince. Sinead O'Connor's version of Nothing Compares to You was originally written by Prince, who wrote it for The Family, a band he created and produced music for. According to Susan Rogers, Prince's former sound engineer, the song was written in 1984 when the artist was on a creative roll. Rogers told The Guardian that the lyrics were connected to Sandy Scipione, Prince's housekeeper, who left temporarily when her father had a heart attack, and the artist's growing feelings for someone in the family. One day, he went into a room with a notebook and, within an hour, emerged with the lyrics to Nothing Compares to You. The song came out like a sneeze, Rogers said. The song was later given to O'Connor in 1990 and became one of her most popular tracks. The next song on today's list is Red Red Wine by UB40. It was written by Neil Diamond. Although UB40 knew they were covering a song written by another artist, because of their reggae style, they had no idea Red Red Wine was penned by the legendary Neil Diamond. That's why the British group actually miscredited the song's origins during its 1983 release. Reflecting on the blunder, Terrence Wilson, aka Astro of UB40, told Billboard, "You could have knocked us out with a feather when we found out it was actually Neil Diamond." The band had only ever known the song as performed by Jamaican singer Tony Tribe. Even when the band saw the N Diamond writing credit, they thought it referred to a Jamaican artist, a Neville or Negus Diamond perhaps. The next song on today's list is Chain Reaction by Diana Ross. It was written by the Bee Gees. After disco's decline, the Bee Gees took a step back from performing and concentrated on writing music for other artists. One of their major products was writing all the songs for Diana Ross's Eaten Alive album, which included Chain Reaction. The last song written for the album, Chain Reaction, almost never made it to the release since it closely matched Ross's earlier sound with the Supremes. Fortunately, the former Supreme had a change of heart and heard the makings of a hit. The next song on today's list is Manic Monday by the Bangles. It was written by Prince. Manic Monday perfectly captured that wish for another day in the weekend, a mundane sentiment that came surprisingly from none other than eccentric songwriter Prince. It seemed that the song came to the Bangles by kismet. In 1984, after Prince and the Bangles were introduced and had the chance to play alongside each other, he let them know he wanted them to listen to a song he'd written for them. It was also around the time the Bangles were recording their second album. As the band hovered around a cassette player, each member was smitten. Susanna Hoffs, a member of the Bangles, told NPR, "The Bangles worked on the track a bit more and finally released the song in 1986, forever giving hardworking employees something to sing to when the weekend draws to a close." The next song on today's list is I'm a Believer by the Monkees, was written by Neil Diamond. Some of us may recognize I'm a Believer from the Shrek soundtrack, but it was originally performed by the Monkees in 1966. The lyrical credit goes to Neil Diamond, who originally thought country singer Eddie Arnold might take the song. However, in the hands of the Monkees, the pop tune topped the charts for 7 weeks and became one of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time. The next song on today's list is Respect by Aretha Franklin. It was written by Otis Redding. Originally penned by Otis Redding, Aretha Franklin transformed Respect into an anthem for a woman demanding her due, with the help of her sister Carolyn's backup vocals. Though it was now seen as Franklin's song, the singer never received any monetary benefit from her hard work and popularity, with Redding's estate continuing to receive royalties. The next song on today's list is Crazy by Patsy Cline. It was written by Willie Nelson. While most of us are familiar with Willie Nelson, the country music rebel, this wasn't always the case. Like many artists, Nelson had humble beginnings. At one time, the singer-songwriter was working on multiple jobs, vying for the attention of the right person in Nashville. It was at Tootsie's Orchard Lounge where Nelson met Patsy Cline's husband, Charlie Dick, who loved the song so much he brought Nelson home to play it for his wife at 1 a.m. The accounts say Dick played the song for his wife over and over again. No matter its origins, the song became a country hit in 1961 and went up to number 9 on the Hot 100. It also became Cline's signature song. And finally, the last song on today's list is I Wanna Be Your Man by the Rolling Stones, which was written by the Beatles. When the Rolling Stones were still relatively new and lacking a song to record, their manager asked John Lennon and Paul McCartney of the Beatles to support the new group by writing a single for them when the Stones suddenly lacked a song to record. The two finished I Wanna Be Your Man for the Rolling Stones in a few minutes, supposedly inspiring Mick Jagger and Keith Richards to try their own hand at songwriting down the line. The Beatles' penned song ultimately climbed to number 12 on the UK charts. Alright, there you have it, 20 massive hits sung by legendary artists but written by other music icons. Kind of surprised to hear that Neil Diamond penned a few songs, Otis Redding penned a few songs, as well as Prince. We knew about Prince, but interesting to hear that some of these songwriters wrote some of those big songs. Get in that comment section and let me know which song you were most surprised was penned by another artist. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, please pay it a little respect by smashing that big thumbs up like button. That'll help get this video in front of a few more eyes, and I thank you for doing that. And if you really enjoyed today's content, consider subscribing to the channel. We got fresh videos coming to you daily. I try to post 2 to 3 videos per day. So go ahead and smash that subscription button, ring that notification bell, and make these videos a regular part of your day. I thank you for watching this one to the very end. I'm Brian Kingsbury. We'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.